You guys see it running down my hand? It's definitely super liquidy. Today we are going to be talking about a new foundation. I know there are so many different foundations on the market right now. It's kind of overwhelming, but this one in specific caught my eye for many reasons, which I will share with you all. But we are going to be testing out, trying to see the longevity of the foundation. I'm not going to wear it for 24 hours, but I will be testing it out today. Today is a wear test. So this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Foundation, and it's supposed to hold up to 24 hours, which is why I said I wasn't going to keep it on for 24 hours, but I would try to keep it on throughout the day and then update you guys later on as to the wear of the foundation. Now this foundation is vegan and 100% cruelty free, which I love. It's also supposed to be a skin-like matte finish, which I'm really interested in finding out how skin-like it'll look and how matte it will be. You know, I'm hoping that it will be a comfortable matte kind of finish. It's supposed to minimize the appearance of your pores, which is also very interesting to see. And it is waterproof, you guys, which I'm kind of shocked about because I don't really wear I actually don't wear waterproof things. I had the Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof mascara and I gave that away. But I'm actually interested in trying out this foundation because it is waterproof, because I haven't tried waterproof things. I just have been very anti-waterproof, but what's the harm in trying? So I definitely want to step out my comfort zone and try it and see what happens. But yeah, this is the foundation, you guys. And I think that the packaging is super beautiful. Love the gold lettering, of course, and you know it has a pump, so that's always good. So now let's just read a little bit about the foundation so we can get a little bit more familiar with it. And I'm just taking this straight from the Urban Decay website, so if you guys want to go check that out, you can definitely go on their site. But Urban Decay designed this lineup of 50 shades with 9 shade intensities, meaning the brightness or dullness of a hue. That's what intensities mean. 3 master tones and 7 undertones, so that everyone is able to get their precise color match. So they have a wide range with several intensities and undertones. So you should, according to Urban Decay, you should be able to find your perfect match. I'm not sure if this would be my perfect match. I mean, I picked up 50 WO. I'm not really sure what that means. I want to say it's 50 warm olive, but I could be wrong. I know somewhere on the site, because when I was looking the other day, I was able to see what each shade was, and it definitely didn't go with the letters. So I don't think that's correct, but that's just my guess, and that's the shade that I have for anybody wondering. So I'm going to try this today. When they do have on the site place where you can click like find my exact match or whatever, and it asks you like your undertone, if you're medium light, medium dark, things like that, and it helps you to kind of eliminate certain shades and kind of gives you 4 different foundations to work with. So when I did that, this one definitely wasn't one of the 4, but I'm still going to try this anyways to see if it will work or not, because you never know. Before we begin the application of the foundation, I do want to prime my skin. I'm just going to be using the same primer that I know will work. I've been using this forever, you guys already know, and I find that this primer really works for me. So if something doesn't go right with this foundation, we know it's not the primer. It's definitely going to be the foundation, because I use this constantly. But then again, I mean, there is that slight chance that this primer just doesn't work with this foundation, but I doubt it. So just gonna put a little bit of that on. Now on the Urban Decay website, they also have pro tips that give you suggestions on how to apply the foundation. So they have light coverage to use the Urban Decay Pro Diffusing Blush Brush. Obviously they're going to suggest their products or their tools. Medium coverage, use a blending sponge or Urban Decay Pro Optical Blurring Brush. And then for full coverage, use a flat brush like Urban Decay Large Tapered Foundation Brush. So I do want the medium full coverage kind of look, But I am going to go with a sponge on one side, which that says to be medium coverage, and then I'm going to go with the brush on the other side. I don't have the Urban Decay brush, so I'm going to use my large buffing brush, and this is from Sony Kashik. You can just get this at Target. And then the sponge I'm going to use is my Morphe sponge, because I really love this sponge, and my beauty blender is dirty, so we're just going to use this. But I do have to go wet it, so I'm going to go wet this, then we'll be back to apply the foundation, and me doing this will also give my primer time to sit and work its magic in my skin. So I'll be right back. So now we're going to apply our foundation. I'm just going to put a few pumps. This is really liquidy. Hold on, if I can show you guys. You guys see it running down my hand? It's definitely super liquidy. So I'm going to start with the beauty blender side first. I think I'm going to do the beauty blender over here and the brush over here, just because I have a darker imperfection here, and I really want to see if the brush is going to make that go away. This foundation does have a weird scent. It's not strong, but it's weird. The color match seems to be alright. Definitely because I have a tan. I was in the sun a lot. I'm just pressing this. I can't believe I'm putting something that's waterproof on my skin right now. Alright. So this is basically 2 pumps on this left side of my face, which is probably the right side to you guys. No foundation, foundation. No foundation, foundation. I can't lie, I actually like it so far. I like how much it covered. Definitely medium coverage, not a full coverage, and it doesn't claim to be, but definitely medium. And it said if you apply it with the sponge, you'd get medium coverage, so definitely agree with that. Now let's apply to the right side. I'm going to put, again, 2 pumps, 2 smaller pumps on the back of my hand. I'm going to use the large buffing brush. I think that with this kind of brush it might be light coverage, but we will see. So I'm just going to start buffing this into the skin. Definitely a lighter coverage on this side for sure with this brush. It's there, but it's like super light, and it kind of covered this little scar up a little bit, but it's not as much coverage as this side. So far it's being honest. All right, I'm gonna add 1 more pump on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take this Pro foundation brush. This is the number 47 from Sephora. Now normally I like to use this brush for my cream contour, but I'm going to try put this on because it said with a flat brush you can get full coverage. Definitely needed more coverage over here on my nose for sure. Okay, so this side I first used this buffing brush, and this is the large buffing brush again from Sony Kashik, and I do feel like using this brush made the foundation sheer out a little bit more, so it definitely gave me that light coverage. But then as soon as I went in with the number 47 brush from Sephora, I feel like it definitely provided more of that full coverage effect. This side is the beauty blender, and it definitely is medium coverage. I mean, you really cannot tell the difference in my opinion on the 2 sides. They look close. I mean, this again has a little bit more coverage like right in here, and this one not as much. But either the sponge or the brush, I would use any of these actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it. If I wanted a real light coverage, a real light layer, if my skin was definitely in better condition, I definitely use the buffing brush. Full coverage, I'd use this one, and then if I wanted more like a medium coverage, I'd use my sponge. But I love it so far. I really do. Now as far as the pores, I definitely feel like it minimized my pores just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but you can tell that there's a difference in the pore area. So, and I didn't use no like pore filling primer or anything like that. So far so good, you guys. Like, I'm really loving it. This might be a new foundation for summer. It just depends on how it holds up in this heat. So I am going to apply my concealer and my powder on camera just so you guys can kind of see the base makeup. And I'm just taking my Tarte Shape Tape, again using products that I know work for me and that I can trust. And this is definitely one of those products. You guys know this Tarte Shape Tape is my holy grail. So I'm gonna use that, and then I'm gonna use my sponge, of course, just to blend all of this in. And then for powder, of course, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild translucent powder, and I'm also going to bake a little bit underneath my eyes. But again, you guys know I absolutely love this powder, and you just want to make sure that you're really giving the foundation that you're trying, or whatever product that you're trying, a fair chance, you know. So you use products that you know work well for you and for your skin and things like that. So that's what I'm doing, because this powder does work really well. Just gonna set everything down lightly with one layer, and I'm not gonna do anything like super dramatic with my makeup today. I'm just gonna keep it really simple. And I forgot to tell you guys, but it definitely is a matte finish. Like over here, I did not set yet, and it looks pretty matte like the rest of my face does. So I meant to tell you guys that, my bad, but you guys could probably tell from looking at me on camera before I applied any powders, it was looking matte. And it's definitely comfortable. I can move my face. I don't feel tight. It doesn't feel tight or anything like that. Everything is good so far, and I think I'm gonna really like this foundation, if I don't say so myself. So now I'm just gonna grab a little bit more powder and just bake underneath my eyes. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna do the rest of my face off camera, then I'll be back so you can kind of see the finished look. It's gonna be super simple, really natural. So I'm gonna spare you guys, but I'll be back to give a wrap up of my current thoughts, and then we'll be back later on to see how the foundation and everything held up. Okay, you guys, this is the finished look. Very simple and cute today, just really minimalistic, and I love it. I really want to give the foundation a chance, and I really want to see what it's going to do, so I didn't want to do too much. For my eyeshadow, I know you guys are always curious about the products and stuff that I use, so I used the Modern Renaissance palette. I just used Raw Sienna and Burnt Orange, these two down here, just in my crease a little bit, blew it out, smoked it out a little bit. Not really smoked it out. I guess you just put it in the crease, blend it back and forth. I could have just used bronzer, but I chose just to use those shades. I do have some lashes on. These are the House of Lashes, and these are in Spellbound, and I think they're super pretty. And then for bronzer, I use the Smashbox palette. I use this shade over here. You guys know I love this palette. And highlight, I have on my Fenty highlight. I didn't do too much highlight because I noticed that with any foundation that I use, when I use a lot of highlight, it can look like I'm oily, but really it's the highlighter. So I tried not to put as much. I still have some on. I just tried to put very little because I wanted to see how the foundation was going to do or perform, I guess you could say, in that area. So tried not to put too much on. I think I did pretty decent. So let's just do a quick rundown of the things that this foundation claims. I definitely feel like the foundation is very weightless. I do not feel like I have foundation on my skin, and you guys know I love that. So yeah, it definitely does that. minimizing the pores, I also saw a difference. I mean, it wasn't like some huge magical difference, like, oh my gosh, I mean, it's not erasing them or anything, but definitely did minimize. And I didn't use any pore minimizing primer or anything like that. So that was great not to do that, because, and definitely a smart idea to do that, because I got to really see, did it do something, did it not? And it did. Very little, but still enough to say that it did. I do feel like this foundation can actually be anywhere from light coverage to full coverage, just because of the methods in which you apply it. So using this buffing brush definitely gave me light coverage. And when I say light coverage, I mean you have a little bit of foundation on, but it's still very, very like light to where you can see your imperfections and everything like that. The Sephora Pro 47 brush, which is more of like a flat brush, this definitely provided me with full coverage, and I absolutely love this. I haven't applied foundation with a brush in so long, so using this one definitely made a difference, and I loved it. When it comes to the Morphe sponge, I apply majority of my foundations with either this sponge or a sponge like it, and that's my typical method for applying foundation. So I'm definitely happy with the coverage that it provided. Now that my face is fully made up, I can't even tell the difference between which side I use the brush on and which side I use the sponge on. It just looks that good and that great. But overall, I love all three methods that they recommend for applying the foundation. The buffing brush, like I said, I would probably use this the least, but I would still use it when I really want just like that light coverage of foundation, and my skin is definitely in better condition. So overall, first initial impression, just putting the foundation on and just having it on for this little bit of time that I've had it on, I will have to say that I give this foundation an 8 out of 10. As of right now, I'm saving those last 2 points to see how well the foundation holds up, because I don't know that yet. I don't want to give it a full 10 review just yet, but we will see. So I will check in with you guys about once or twice throughout the day, and then a final review at the end of the day, just to kind of give you guys a gist of how I feel about this foundation. But so far, so good. I'm so excited, and I really hope this works out the way that I'm thinking it'll work out, because I really want this to be my new like summer foundation. It just seems super lightweight, and it seems like the best option for that, and the fact that it's waterproof. That's crazy, girl. Hey guys, so it has been about 3.5 hours. I forgot to tell you what time I finished my makeup. It was about 10:30. I did my makeup pretty early today. It is now 2 o'clock, so it's been about 3.5 hours. 11, 12, 1, 2. So yeah, about 3.5 hours that I've had this makeup on, and I really like it. Like, I don't feel like it's breaking up or anything like that at all. It just looks really, really good. I will try to check in with you guys one more time before I give my final thoughts and opinions, but it's doing really, really well, and I really, really like it. Okay, you guys, it has been several hours. It's now 6 o'clock, so 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, and then 6 o'clock. So 7.5 hours of me wearing this makeup, and you guys, I'm super, super, super excited to say that I 100% love the foundation. It definitely held up in the heat. It has been super warm today, not as hot as it was this past weekend. This past weekend it was like 90 degrees here in Connecticut, but still one of the warmer days. It was like, let's check the weather. Right now it's 82 degrees outside, so it was about that all day pretty much, to be honest, but it held up really good, and I'm so excited and happy, and this is going to be my new summer foundation. The only thing is now I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that the products and stuff that I have to take my makeup off will work. So this cleansing balm right here, this is the Green Clean from Pharmacy. This should melt all of this away. Hopefully it'll work. I'll definitely be using that to take this down, because I don't really have anything for waterproof makeup. You guys know I normally use the Garnier Skin Active for my eye area and stuff like that, but this is the regular one. This is not the one for waterproof makeup, so I highly doubt it'll help take off this foundation, but hopefully this foundation isn't too hard to take off. If I have any problems or anything like that, I'll update you guys in a future video. As far as the wear of the actual foundation itself, I'm truly loving it, and I feel like it has lived up to everything that Urban Decay is claiming for this foundation. I don't find anything wrong with it, honestly. So the one thing I will say is that I am going to go to Ulta tomorrow, and I'm gonna get a shade lighter just to kind of see the difference, because I mean, I feel like this matches me, but I feel like I can find something a little bit better just because it does seem a little dark, and I do have a tan and everything, but I think I can go like a shade lighter. Nothing more than that though. So I'll make a trip to Ulta tomorrow to purchase another shade, and you guys will definitely see me using this foundation in future videos. I think it's truly gonna be a new summer foundation. I don't feel like my face is really oily at all. Like there's like very slight, not dewiness, but like oiliness coming in, like right there in between my brows. But as far as like by my nose and everything, normally by this time with other foundations I would have a whole bunch of oils right on the sides of my nose, and I don't have that. And I'm just like truly impressed. Like I'm all for this foundation right now, but I don't see that. I don't have that. Everything looks fine. Honestly, it looks the same way it did when I put it on in the beginning of the day. So I'm truly impressed. If you guys have tried this foundation, definitely let me know how you feel about it down in the comments down below. If you haven't tried it, let me know if you're going to try it. I think that you should. It just seems like a really good concept. Again, I will update you guys in a future video as far as me taking it down and if it's difficult or not to remove the foundation from my face, but I don't think it should be too difficult. I don't think I have anything else to say other than I love you guys so much. Definitely, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel, bell notification on. You guys already know the drill. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video or vlog, whichever one comes first.